you're a fan of Yorgos Lanthimos, Wes Anderson, and maybe even a little bit of Taika Waititi, then Limbo is literally right up your alley. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Limbo. And if you guys are new here, and in general you guys are a geek like me, then I am the Wolf of Geek Street. My name is Zach. Welcome to the channel. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on content like this over here on a daily basis, as well as comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts. Have you heard about this movie yet? Are you excited for this movie yet? Let's discuss it all down there. Limbo, it's about a man named Omar who's a promising young musician separated from his Syrian family, though he is stuck on a remote Scottish island awaiting the fate of his asylum request. This is written and directed by Ben Sharrock, which that is a name that we should all be really looking forward to in the coming future because he has a definite career after this film. Films like this that remind me why I love movies. It's these little indie charm ones that come out of nowhere and completely just catch you by surprise in a sense and just remind you why film is so just damn great. No matter what your story is, your budget, or in general the location, if you can make a great story about something with have some great characters and some really just overall just great dynamic and relatability to it all, you can make a really good movie. And Ben Sharrock shows here that Limbo is just one of the big standouts out of it all. It's a movie that, again, I didn't hear anything about, but it's one that took me by storm. It's so quirky, it's so charming, it's honestly a really clever satire towards a lot of different things, and especially the way that we view refugees in our world. In general, just looking at this story of a refugee, which I've seen quite a few of these over the last couple of years, but this might be one of the best ones yet. Because again, while it strikes the humor in a lot of places, it hits the emotion heavily. And I was not expecting the emotional parts. I think that's why it mixes the best of Lanthimos, Anderson, and of course even Taika Waititi. It's a clever satire. It's quality, it's quirky, all those different elements kind of mix this whole thing. And from the opening scene alone, which is this weird awkward dance thing that goes on for like 5 minutes, I didn't know how to feel about it. By the end of that scene, I was hook, line, and sinked right into this movie. I feel like a lot of you guys might feel that way after watching the opening scene for this movie. And in general, the entire title of this movie and the gentle tale that it tells here, I think the thing is that this movie came about in a very relatable way. You know, I can never fully relate to how a Syrian refugee might truly feel. But for me, this movie made me relate in a couple different ways. There's small things of them just pop culture stuff talking about friends and did Ross actually cheat or were they on a break and elements like that that make the film very passion-filled and, again, relatable. But that limbo feeling, again, playing on the title, of course, and if you're like Peter Griffin, it's like, oh, he said it. He said it.
Sailors represent a clear and present danger to the United States. He said it. He said it.
Plays off in this in a free-realming way. It's a relatable way because everyone in their life at one point in time feels in that limbo world. You know, he's a musician. That's what he wants to do. People don't understand that, though. And, you know, for the most part, you know, that's his passion. That's what he wants to do in his whole entire career. He doesn't care how much money he makes. He doesn't care about that. But that's what he cares about. And, you know, as someone who can totally understand that, who just loves talking movies, this is what I want to do for my life. I want to do this for a living. And maybe one day I'll be able to. But I've felt in those limbo states before. And I feel like this movie, again, yes, the entire story revolves around a Syrian refugee waiting for his request. But I feel like inside deeply, it's more of a story about a guy who's just stuck in this state of limbo who wants to move past that into the next chapter of his life. Hey, I'm already ready to say put this down as probably one of the most underrated movies of 2021. I get it's only April, but damn, it's gonna be. My God, the thing I haven't even talked about is even though this tale, again, is a beautiful commentary on everything that happens to do with Syrian refugees waiting, and again, feeling in that state of limbo, and every single person in this movie kind of being in their own state of limbo, the movie is shot in a beautiful wide panels that makes for some of my favorite cinematography yet of this year. The aspect ratio chosen for this film also puts a smile on my face. It just overall, the whole entire package on a story and technical level makes for just a damn brilliant movie. And the performances by Amir El-Masry and Vikish Ba are some of my favorites as well. Again, building on that quirky, fun, delightful, but overall emotional journey. Of course, like I said with Limbo, it is a very enjoyable movie. I think there's a lot of stuff in here to dive into, especially on rewatches. But I did feel one thing within the movie that kind of held the movie back completely, and I do think it is the pacing. Now, again, I enjoyed a majority of this movie, but I do think that there are certain elements in here that could have been cut to just make the film a little bit shorter, because the pacing does start to drag towards the back half of the movie. And while there are some really strong emotional beats, I was sitting there waiting, just checking the time like, all right, let's wrap this thing up. You get to that in a movie, that's kind of when it can kind of be a little bit of a detriment. Some movies can make you forget completely about a runtime, but for a movie that's like only an hour and 44 minutes, I definitely felt it, and I feel like at least 10 minutes could have been shortened to make this an hour and a half movie. That would have been perfect. Limbo is a movie that I think all of you guys need to see. Like I mentioned, it is probably going to be one of the most underrated movies of 2021. This is going to be the film you want to tell your friends to see. Like, this is literally the movie that, like, I do this because I love talking about film, and this is the independent film that I want you guys to all hear about, because if you don't, then you're missing out. And I hope that you're going to be that friend that's going to be able to sit there and be like, hey, you need to see Limbo. Of course, with all that said, I'm going to give Limbo a B+. Thank you once again for clicking on this video, because they're seriously all the best. Make sure to comment down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this film. And of course, make sure to head on over to Sandwich Fun Films on how to see films early. And of course, it's a big day to you and a big day to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this.